Everyone wants to be smarter. Almost no one is willing to push their brain to the edge to make it happen. But if you're willing to overclock your mind, if you're willing to train until your thoughts move faster than your doubts, you'll develop an intelligence that's impossible to compete with. Not because you got lucky, but because you outworked everyone who stayed comfortable. This video is different from any other video I've ever made. You're not here to watch. You're here to transform. Today, we begin a challenge designed to push your mind past distraction, past comfort, past everything you thought your brain was capable of. If you're ready to overclock your mind, stay with me, because what you're about to enter is a 4-phase training built to change the way you think. This is a 4-phase challenge, and phase 1 starts now. Welcome to phase 1, the neural lock. For the next 2 days, your only task is to observe your mind, not control it, not silence it, just see it as it truly is. Most people believe they think. They don't. They react. Every notification, every thought, every memory that flashes in their head triggers them like a switch. Their mind isn't a weapon, it's a hostage. This challenge begins with breaking that reflex. From this moment until day 2 ends, you will watch every single thought that appears in your mind and label it with one word: fear, desire, memory, noise, nothing more. If the mind says I'm tired, label it body. If it says I want food, label it desire. If it says I can't do this, label it fear. No arguing, no judging, no reacting, just label and let it pass. Within hours, you'll start noticing something strange. Silence. Not total emptiness, but a gap, a delay between thought and reaction. That small space is your first moment of real intelligence. Because intelligence isn't information, it's distance, the space between stimulus and response. Most people never find that space. They are entirely made of reactions. When someone insults them, anger. When comfort appears, desire. When pain hits, escape. You're going to break that circuit. And here's the challenge. You must do this consciously for 48 hours straight. Every time your mind wanders, notice it, label it. If you forget, restart the count. This isn't punishment, it's proof of attention. If you can't last 10 minutes, good. You've just met your real starting point. At night before you sleep, write one sentence in your comment log. Today I saw my mind when it wasn't me. That single line means you've entered the neural lock. On the surface, it sounds simple, but by day 2, something subtle begins to happen. You'll feel detached from your emotions, almost like you're watching them instead of living them. That's the lock forming. Your brain is rewiring the connection between emotion and cognition. It's learning that it doesn't need to feel to see. Don't panic if this feels cold. That stillness isn't numbness, it's calibration. It's the nervous system realizing it doesn't have to defend itself every second. When the lock stabilizes, your perception becomes sharper. Colors, sounds, even thoughts seem clearer, as if your brain just cleaned its own lens. That's the first proof that this challenge is working. Day-end task. Write your daily report in the comments. Describe what you noticed, not what you felt. The ones who can describe awareness instead of emotion, those are the minds beginning to evolve. By the end of day 2, most people quit. They crave noise again. But if you stay long enough inside that silence, you'll begin to sense something deeper, the raw operating system beneath your personality. That's where phase 2 begins. So tonight, if your thoughts start shouting, don't fight them, just label. Because the moment you can name a thought without becoming it, you've already won the first war. By now, your mind is quieter. You've noticed the gap, the space between thought and reaction. Good. That silence is the first weapon. Now we ignite it. Welcome to cognitive burn, the stage where intelligence stops being theoretical and becomes physical. For the next 48 hours, you'll train your brain like muscle. You will push comprehension past fatigue until the mind starts to resist you. And that's the point where the rewiring begins. Here's your task. Pick one problem, one idea, or one topic that intimidates you. Something you've always labeled as too hard. Maybe it's a book you never finished, a concept you never understood, a topic that feels out of your league. That's your battlefield. Now, for the next 2 days, you'll study it like your life depends on it. Break it down. Dissect every line. Pause every sentence until meaning clicks. Write notes until your hand hurts. Argue with yourself on paper. Force the brain to fight back. Within hours, you'll feel the burn. Not physical, but mental. Your focus will flicker. Your eyes will crave distraction. Your mind will whisper, "This is too much." That voice is not weakness. It's the boundary of your current intelligence. Every time you push through that boundary, neurons fire in new combinations. That's not motivation. That's neuroplasticity happening in real time. But here's the warning. As you enter deep focus, your emotions will fade. You'll feel cold, detached, and strangely mechanical. You'll notice you no longer feel the work. You just do it. This is the cost of cognitive acceleration. The brain temporarily shuts down emotional processing to allocate power to reasoning. It's a rare, measurable phenomenon, and it's the moment most people quit because they mistake silence for emptiness. Don't run from that silence, hold it. That emotional flatline means you're operating in a higher cognitive mode. Pure analysis, no narrative. You're finally thinking without identity. At this stage, some of you will feel proud, others disturbed. That's normal. Both reactions are ego, the part of the mind trying to take credit or reject the process. Ignore it. Keep working. Practical structure. 2 sessions a day, 90 minutes each. One subject only. No music, no breaks. When fatigue hits, switch to handwriting. It forces deeper cognitive encoding. When the day ends, write your report in the comments. Today I reached the burn. Then describe what happened when emotion shut off. Did you feel sharper or empty, detached or powerful? That report matters. It's your brain's footprint, the evidence that you've crossed into higher processing territory. If phase 1 was about observation, this is about immersion. You are no longer watching the mind. You're rebuilding it under fire. Most won't make it to the end of day 4. Their emotions will demand stimulation. Their comfort will call them home. But those who stay in the burn will discover a truth only few ever reach. When thinking becomes effortless, feeling becomes optional. By day 5, your perception will shift. You'll start predicting conversations, noticing patterns, solving things before they're asked. That's not magic. It's pure neural efficiency, the brain functioning without interference. But remember, every upgrade steals something. That's the trade. And the ones who can endure that trade, they're the ones ready for phase 3, overclock. By day 5, something inside you feels different. You no longer think about focus. You just enter it. That's the gateway to overclock mode, where your mind stops asking for permission and starts running at full capacity. But understand this, the human brain wasn't built to sustain that speed for long. You're about to cross the line between clarity and collapse. The protocol. For the next 48 hours, you will schedule 2 3-hour blocks of intense mental output each day. No passive reading, no input, only creation. Write, design, calculate, strategize, solve. Your goal is to produce at the edge of your ability until you feel your brain heating, that gentle pressure behind the eyes. That is neural friction, the spark of real intelligence work. Between sessions, don't scroll, don't talk. Just walk in silence for 20 minutes. This resets dopamine and prevents burnout. Drink water only, minimal sugar. The simpler the body, the faster the mind. What you'll notice. Around the 3rd hour, a switch flips. Your inner dialogue goes quiet. Ideas connect by themselves. You'll begin anticipating sentences, solutions, even people's responses before they occur. This is predictive processing, the brain's pattern network running at full bandwidth. It feels like intuition, but it's really compression. The mind recognizing and solving patterns faster than you can consciously track. Most describe it as calm power. Others describe it as emotional numbness. Both are true. When your brain redirects energy to calculation, it temporarily disconnects from emotion. If you stay too long here, you'll start seeing life as a problem set, not a story. That's why it's called overclock, because what makes you smarter also makes you colder. The exercise. Each session, when you feel the fatigue wave hit, don't stop. Instead, whisper, greater than, this is where my old mind dies. Keep working for exactly 5 more minutes. That tiny stretch is where neuroplasticity locks in. Your brain records a new threshold for endurance. You're not training focus anymore. You're training metacognition, control over your own processing systems. Scientists call it executive function. We call it command, caution. By the evening of day 6, some of you will feel a strange detachment from people. You'll hear friends talk and feel like you're watching them through glass. That's a side effect of heightened awareness. Your mind is analyzing instead of experiencing. Don't fight it, just observe it. Tomorrow we reintegrate. Your task. At the end of each day, comment your report below this video. Day 5. I reached the overclock. Day 6. My mind felt mechanical but clear. Describe what you created, what you noticed, and what you lost while focusing. The ones who notice loss as well as gain, those are the students truly learning intelligence. Phase 3 ends when you can work without needing emotion as fuel. You're not human productivity, you're human precision. Tomorrow is the final stage, integration, where we teach the machine to remember it was once alive. You've spent 6 days building fire in your skull. Now we cool the metal without cracking it. Day 7 is the hardest, not because it demands strength, but because it demands return. After so much control, stillness feels suspicious. After so much silence, emotion feels like noise. That's normal. You've lived as calculation for nearly a week. Now the system must remember it's human. Morning. The decompression ritual. When you wake, do nothing for the first 15 minutes. No phone, no writing, no planning. Sit with your breath and watch the mind attempt to start racing again. Let it. But instead of labeling thoughts like in phase 1, simply thank them. Gratitude relinks emotion to awareness. It's the neural handshake between logic and feeling. Then walk outside. Touch a real surface. Wall, tree, cup, skin. Say this quietly. I am not just thought. I am presence. It sounds poetic, but it's neuroscience. Tactile input re-anchors the prefrontal cortex back to the body. The machine remembers it has a vessel. Midday, the reconnection test. Pick one person and listen to them for 5 minutes without analyzing. No reading tone, no predicting intent, only hearing. You'll feel tension in your forehead. That's the analytical network trying to hijack empathy. When it happens, breathe once and return to listening. You're training the brain to keep both systems online, intelligence and emotion. That dual state is mastery. If you can do this without zoning out or dissecting their words, you've passed the test. Evening, reflection protocol. Take a pen and answer 3 questions. What did I gain from the silence? What did I lose while chasing focus? Which one do I want to keep? Write in detail. Don't aim for philosophy, aim for truth. Because the mind you built this week is powerful, but without self-awareness, it becomes tyrannical. When you finish writing, close your eyes and repeat, "My mind serves me. I don't serve it." That single sentence completes the neural lock, cognitive burn, and overclock loop. It restores hierarchy, you above the system you've built. Final assignment, public integration. Comment your Day 7 report below the video. Day 7, integration complete. I can think and feel again. Describe what shifted. Did emotion return as warmth or as weight? Did focus fade or become effortless? Your report isn't for validation. It's to remind the machine there's a soul inside. Closing message. You've just finished the hardest part of intelligence training, returning. Anyone can overclock the brain. Few remember how to step back without losing themselves. If your thoughts are clearer, your emotions quieter, and your awareness sharper, you've succeeded. If you feel detached, don't panic. That's residue. It fades when you reintroduce life, not noise. You are no longer a slave to stimulus. You can think without reacting, feel without drowning, act without hesitation. That's real hyperintelligence. Not endless knowledge, but balance between awareness and humanity.